Eric White, are you ready?
I'm always ready, man.
Bro, it's going to be awesome. Guys, welcome to episode 137 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. Tonight, huge show. We got Steve from WireCare on here. Tips, tricks, parts you need for your drag and drive trailer from WireCare. Calvin and Andrew Nelson are going to be on here. And we were talking about this before. Dude, the list of cars they've got, I don't know if we've given them enough time. We may need to have them back on as like an after hours deal. And then we're going to talk about who else headed to sick week. We're going to give updates on the car. And I'm hoping that we're going to have some weather updates from people as we are on the show here from folks that are making their way south. So, Mr. Eric White, will you hit that intro video, sir?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, guys, like I said, welcome to episode 137 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. My name is Mike Narks. I'm your host tonight for this show and the news that happens on Saturday mornings. My right-hand man, Mr. Eric White. Tell him what you got going on, dude.
I am Eric White, co-host of the show and news, which funny story we were talking about before the show. The Nelsons were on 3 years ago, was it? Episode number 2, and I was the special guest co-host back then. So we got a good laugh out of that this morning. Anything drag drive repeat related, artwork, photos, and we are going to get all of the 6 summer photos posted before sick week. Mission accomplished. That's going to be exciting.
Dude, that's so exciting, man. Congratulations. That's been a ton of work for you, sir. I'm excited to see that the ones you posted today were exceptionally good. I really like those. I really enjoy the people aspect of Drag and Drive, and you opened the post today with like the co-pilots getting people lined up in the lanes and all that kind of stuff. So thought that was really cool and a good job on that as well. And speaking of co-pilots, most of our co-pilots got to be our race car friends. There's very few people that start a drag and drive as complete strangers. There are a few wild people out there that do that. I think it would be fun. Dustin and I in 2020 were basically strangers. We had hung out for like 2 hours together total in our whole life. So it was kind of fun to do that. And by the end of it, dude, we were big buddies. It was awesome. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being our race car friends and doing what you do out there. You guys know what you do. We appreciate that a whole bunch. But hit the share button as we go into this. Thank you to our sponsors too, man. I'm excited to get to hang out with a couple of these sponsors down in sick week. And I wish I was going buy more of these because I'd swing in on my way through, but that's not the way it works this time. So if you guys are looking for stuff, if you're doing some shopping while we're all enjoying the Florida sun, you need to be looking at Summit Racing. I mean, they got everything, right? Deechworks, the official fuel delivery system of Drag Drive Repeat. Molly Motorsports, best pistons in the game. Driven Racing Oil, going to be on site at sick week. Summit's going to be on site too. I forgot to mention that. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Howard's Cams, Luke B, our boy over there, Valve Train. Anything Valve Train you need, Howard's Cams is your folks. J-Wire Solutions, who's going to be at sick week as well. AFCO Racing Products, Eric Saffel. Love that dude. He is a wealth of knowledge that you guys can't live without. Performer Built Transmission, best GM transmission builders on the planet. And of course, Car Change 3D, Corey and the boys up there. Man, they just put out some awesome stuff. And we can't say thank you enough to those guys. And then, of course, Power Tube TV, kind of a trade deal. We give them some content. They show it on their channel. We appreciate them doing that. WAF Racing, who's going to be at Sick Week as well. Sweet Patina, best hand cleaning wipes on the market. And then Racing Junk Classifieds, the official buy, sell, trade of Drag Drive Repeat right here. And the creators of a drag and drive segment within the drag cars part of Racing Junk Classified. So pretty cool. Summit, we talked about them, but how about we let Brian Loans tell everybody about Summit Racing?
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Man, I can't wait to hang out with them. Those guys are going to be awesome. We're going to have a blast down there. We kind of, in this segment, when we're talking about Summit, sometimes we talk about ad posts or Facebook posts. Sometimes we talk about parts. But I want to give a big shout out to our boy, Brian Mackey, and the Cut and Grind Garage family over there for getting featured on Turbo Tuesday yesterday on Summit Racing Equipment. Dude, 178 comments on this thing.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep. And then 122 shares. So, if he wasn't famous before, he is way more famous now.
Yeah, so that thing is that thing's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Makes like 800 wheel horsepower, and at one time in its life was a pro mod, and now is a Falcon wagon because that's what the Mackeys build are Falcons, Ford Falcons.
Yeah. Was this Mega Week when we saw it?
Yep. I think so. I pulled these photos from Brian's Facebook page, but I think you have some shots of this in the Mega Week Drag Drive Repeat Facebook album. Yeah. This car just photos so well.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Say hi to your dad there.
Yes, sir.
Great to see him. And then, of course, when you guys are over shopping at Summit, man, hit the Drag Drive Repeat merch. Dude, why wouldn't you? It's like $16, $17 for a t-shirt, I think 35 for a hoodie, and they've got the big brim hats. I need to update the photo here. Big brim hats, and we're going to need some of those when we are down at Sick Week. And I'll be picking up a new one, so don't get the last ones, guys, because I got to get one because my dog jumped in the truck the other day and stepped right on the top of it. I was like, no. So that's the way it goes, man. Can't have nice things with animals. So all right. Let's talk about some Drag Drive Repeat updates because we've had some fun stuff come up. Last night we had a private live stream that is Race Car Friends members only. When we do these live, I have since turned it public because Big Sky Race Week opened their registration this morning. Our boy, Jared Aspergren, won the free ticket entry to Big Sky Race Week for being one of our Race Car Friends. Super, super cool. Oh, man. Hey, yeah, Jeremy Ortiz talking about the 4200 Atlas. Yeah, we're going to talk all kinds of stuff to those guys, the Nelsons, who will be on beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern, or an hour into the show for all you other guys that are watching this, like guys and girls, I guess. Next up, I meant to do a photo of it, but the next giveaway drawing is going to be probably February 9th, 10th, or 11th, something in there. We're going to work with both Matt Frost of Rocky Mountain Race Week and Carl Stansel to have them both on. So for the Race Car Friends members, if you have not filled out the form that tells us which events you are interested in, please go do that right now because we have like another 7 events to give entry for, to draw entry for, and we don't want you guys to miss out on that. So Jared, obviously getting signed up for Big Sky Race Week today. We definitely want to have folks Race Week and Drop the Hammer. Both have provided us with free entry for our Race Car Friends members. Can't wait to do it. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, it's been really cool doing these giveaways. It's, man, pretty exciting, and very thankful for all the promoters that have given us that to be able to do for the Race Car Friends. It's really cool. Jared was pretty excited in the email.
Big time excited, and I don't blame him, dude. Like, it's a $450 giveaway, $450 ticket that he paid at most $100 if he paid it and did the OG deal during PRI. So
Right.
pretty good option there. Next up, man, this took me way longer than I wanted it. I promise I spent way more time on this than it should have, but finally got it sorted out. We now have a fully interactive map on the dragdriverepeat.com/event list 2026 website. This is awesome. 42 of the 47 events are on there. The other events are not on there because we don't have tracks as host tracks yet. We know where they're going to be ish, but we don't know the track location. So it's kind of cool to see these laid out. If you guys have a few minutes, go over there and search it. The one thing I like about this is that once you start kind of digging into the US side of stuff, there's a lot of open area in the country. So everybody worries about saturation and all that kind of stuff. This literally shows us that there's a ton of area that is still very, very far from people's location, that
Oh, yeah.
somebody in Michigan or something like that, or not Michigan, like Minnesota, they may have a hard time getting to one of these that far. So pretty awesome. Again, so too much on this. Brandon Hayes, big shout out to him. Hey, Dark Sliptic Customs in there, my brother, and they're making comments. Big shout out to him for helping me get this started. Joe, our boy, for helping me get all the information. And that was where the easy stuff stopped. Everything has been it's been crazy. So we had stuff showing up where it shouldn't have been, and had to take me a good long while to get that fixed. But I'm excited to see this. So you guys can find that. I'll go ahead and drop the link there in the chat while you talk about the next bit of stuff.
Yeah, so 6 summer photo updates. You got a screenshot here. We will have all of the 6 summer photos posted. The last album will go up on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, once I get home from work. But I did section it out so that we were able to get them all done this week. So, man, I'm excited to be done, but also a little sad because I've been working on photos since probably June. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Obviously, I got the circuit racer cards is going to be what's going to keep me busy next. But yeah, it's I'm excited to be done with these and just in time for 6 summer photos to start rolling, or 6 week photos to start rolling out while you are down there.
Yeah, and it's my goal to take about a third as many pictures as you, which would be a whole lot.
Yes.
So we'll be uploading stuff. Big shout out to Brian, who's been editing his fingers off for videos. He's going to be doing the same thing while I'm down at sick week as well. So we've upped. He's going to be like almost 30 hours next week is kind of the plan for him getting in there. Yeah, Jeremy Ortiz in here saying, been loving all the pics. Takes me back to the warm summer.
Yeah.
It's been super cold. Lastly here, oh man, I didn't put it in here. Let's talk about this. You want to?
Yeah, let's go for it.
We were complaining a little bit before the show about our fat asses, and I'm the heaviest I've ever been. Eric said he is not happy with where he's at. I mean, probably the heaviest you've ever been, maybe?
Yeah, in that ballpark.
Yeah. So let's talk. We're going to throw this out there. This is literally something we talked about before the show, but who would like to get in on a race weight challenge? Weekly updates, group chat, holding everybody accountable. Because like every 10 pounds you lose is like what, 100th or 1,000th off your time. I mean, we need faster cars. I need better knees, and that would help. Okay. So if you guys want to do that, just make a comment over on the side, #RaceWeight, or send me or Eric a message. Let us know you'd be in.
Robert Voss, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah. I think it would just be fun. And again, the biggest thing with weight loss is accountability. Like, my wife can't tell me to do shit, but my buddy riding my ass, whew, hey, we'll get the old truck back out. I get beat up too bad in the parking lots.
Hey, listen, we got go-karts coming up here in April that we need to be in shape for.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's more of the reason here. Well, let's move on to the circuit stuff because there's a lot of things happening. The emails for the hotels went out the other day. That was crazy. 9 hotels I worked with this year. Actually, 8 hotels and 1 campground I worked with to make sure that everybody could kind of have a spot. I wanted all the hotels to be connected. So each night, the hotels that are selected share a parking lot, which I think is going to be fun for, parking lot beers and stuff like that. And then, of course, Camp Counselor Bob will be at the racetracks with the Camp Counselor program, a fire pit, some snacks and drinks and things like that for you guys that want to camp at the track, which is definitely encouraged. So if I don't know, maybe 2027, I'll stay at the tracks. I don't know. We'll see. But just want to say that's out there. If you haven't seen it yet, send me a message. I'll send it over to you. This only went to circuit participants. So if you're not a circuit racer or a road tripper or co-pilot that gave me your email, you don't have this info. Okay. So thought that was a fun one. That was a little bit of brain damage. And then, dude, AT Industries, man, back for 3 classes this year. I'm so excited about this. 11.0, 12.0 index, and unlimited can all be sponsored by AT Industries.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely appreciate that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about them being back and racer pre-party, bro.
Los Cabos once again.
Yeah. They had a great we had a great time there last year. The room they have us in is perfect. The side room is great, and they have an outdoor little patio area. They were singing karaoke that Thursday night. So we're going to have a good time. This is going to be a blast. I've already talked to the manager there. She's getting me some pricing and stuff like that, here in the next couple of days. But that's kind of the plan. And the hotels I've set up are within 400 or 500 feet. So if we decide to have some margaritas at Los Cabos, I'm not worried about getting back in a hot rod and driving across town to get back to the hotels we had last time. So that is going to be a little better there as well. All right.
Did you say tacos and margaritas?
Yeah, definitely tacos and margaritas.
Raj has got to be listening somewhere on his drive right now going, I'm in.
Yeah, he's coming for the tacos and margaritas, man.
Yep. All right, let's hit some Driven Racing Oil stuff.
Hey, it's Brandon from Fort Smith, Arkansas here. Driven Racing Oil is a performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application. Whether launching hard at the drag strip and during the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing the limits in top-fueled drag boats and demo derbies, winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cleaning and high-zine formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil and enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance.
Love those guys. Man, I can't wait. Uh-oh. We lost Eric during the ad read. Awesome. Okay. That's the way it goes sometimes. So Driven Racing Oil, DDR10 for 10% off at drivenracingoil.com. Off everything you buy there. They got some super cool merch and all that kind of stuff. Tomorrow-ish, 129, January 29th is probably your last day to order stuff directly and have them bring it with them down to Florida. So if you are needing stuff from Sick Week, you need to get it ordered right now. Like, go pause this, go over to Driven Racing Oil, make your order, and in the checkout, put to bring to Sick Week or something like that. I can't remember. Deliver to Sick Week. Can't remember what they said, but just put it in there somewhere. They'll get it. They'll load it on the truck and they'll bring it down. And again, make sure you say hi to Bill and Ashley while you're down at Sick Week, because you obviously have to get. Yeah, you got to say hi to them. They're awesome. I don't know where Eric went. Usually it's my stuff that kind of jacks up. Oh, he's coming back here. All right, so I've added 3 events to the calendar. That is at dragdriverepeat.com/event list-2026. What happened to you? See?
Literally, pop-up said out of memory, out of storage, and then just completely closed out of everything. Probably need to work on my picture storage is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's definitely it. So I was just telling them I've added 3 events to the calendar. So we've got Road Trip Drag Challenge hosts 3 events. So those are now on there. The tracks that are populated with them are on our interactive map. And then also Central Victoria and Drag and Drive we had them scheduled in March. Had that wrong completely. Don't know how I missed that, but they are in September this year. Talked to Dave Curtis yesterday or day before, I think, through Messenger about it. And he said that they're actually helping a local racetrack, kind of local car club, get their racetrack back going. So that's what's taken them up for a first event this year. They wanted to focus on getting those cars racing again. And that's the Central Victorian Dragon Drive picture. And then Heads Up Hustle. I just saw it today, like an hour ago, that John Paul Franks was in a comment somewhere saying, hey, track announcement should be very, very soon. Again, July 21st through 24th. We know it's probably somewhere in the Michigan, Ohio area. That's kind of where it's always been for Heads Up Hustle. Again, July 21st through 24th, but we are waiting on tracks. And he was mentioning that it should be any day now. So kind of have that in the back of your mind as well.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Next round of registration, Big Sky Race Week opened up this morning. And as of a few hours ago, there was only 28 spots left. That's what we like to hear right there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And being that they're at 200 cars, that's a bunch making that trek to Montana. And I don't know if you guys saw a bunch of the names, but there's a lot of people that are returning this year, and a lot of people that are doing 5 or 6 events this year have Big Sky Race Week on their list.
Yeah. Yep, that is awesome. And then obviously 666 is now open to the to the Death Week, the previous 66 2024, and the top 100 of 6 Smokies. So if you were in any one of those, registration is open for this year's 666, and then public registration opens on February 13th. So they've got quite a good jump on the public registration.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, going to be going to at least a couple days of that, being that it's up here in my neck of the woods. Next up is Drop the Hammer. So registration for that is February 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern. So again, kind of working through all of our upcoming registrations. So Drop the Hammer again, February 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then Race Week is February 20th for returning racers and February 21st for the public. So again, coming up real soon, all of these within the next month. So both Race Week and Drop the Hammer events have a free entry. So anyone that is in our Race Car Friends membership, we are going to be working on getting the date set up to do those drawings as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of pumped about those. Race Week is obviously what started my Dragon Drive career here. And man, it holds a special place in my heart. And of course, I'll be doing at least probably Thunder Valley, Tulsa, and Mocan. I don't know if I'll be able to hit Great Bend and make the full loop, but I'll at least do those 3 with them. And my plan is to do media out of the old truck.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of cool. So follow up, this is literally 666 ends on the 3rd, and this starts on the 4th.
Nice.
So, yeah, going to be kind of fun. Going to be kind of fun.
Get a Insta 360 camera to mount on the truck, so when you're cruising down the highway with everyone.
Yes, that's a great idea. Actually, my GoPro took a crap the other day, so it may be time to go ahead and get one of those.
Sounds like it to me.
Yeah, right. Perfect. Well, Sick Week starts in 4 days, bro.
4 days. Remember when we were counting down? It was like, it felt like it was 30 days just yesterday, and now, now 4.
It is not 30 days anymore. It is 4, and that's pretty impressive. And I can't wait, man. We're going to talk about Sick Week and all the updates here in just a few minutes, actually. So, dude, 47 total events on the 42 on the interactive map, 47 total on the list, of course, on our dragdriverepeat.com/event list -2026. Again, I'll drop that in the chat for folks. And I probably need to put that down in the description for people that are watching this later as well.
Yeah, definitely. This turned out pretty cool. So good job. I know you spent a ton of time on it. So I think it came out exactly how you were looking for.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be kind of fun as people begin to mess with that stuff and see the events that are close to them. I mean, everybody, if you're just looking at a list, it makes it pretty tough. So anyways, yeah, thanks for the kind words. Appreciate that. Driven Racing Oil, man. Tell us, kick this part off, I guess.
Yeah, DDR10. You guys know 10% discount on everything on the Driven Oil website. Or if you're going to be at Sick Week, stop by the booth, say hi to Bill and Ashley, and pick up some stuff while you're there at the event. So they'll be there to help you out with anything that you need.
For sure. All right. Well, let's move
Great American Detour registration opens up on Sunday.
Robert, I'm so sorry. I apologize about that, buddy. He called me yesterday and even reminded me. He's like, "Hey, put this in your notes," and I wrote it on my sheet of paper, but didn't put it in the notes for the show. So Great American Detour registration. Here's what's cool about it: the first 50 people that register, like to put in their information, stuff like that, or I think buy a swag bag, get their name on the shirts for the event. So that'll be super cool as you go through the next, 20 years of wearing a car shirt, because that's about how long you take it, You also get shirts. Robert will be able to tell us about it. I should have had him on tonight to talk about it. Robert, are you on the Gearhead Perspective podcast on Sunday night? I know they were talking back and forth about having him on one coming up episode, but I can't remember which one it was. So Great American Detour, hit it up, guys. And then Buckeye Skips registration opens on February 10th. I probably need to be making notes about all this stuff and putting those on our event list page as well. Time. J-Wire Solutions. Let me hit this player, and then we're going to talk about J-Wire.
What's up, guys? My name is Cole from Fort Worth, Texas. Expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, hell, even your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience way better, like their blinker module that is just a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. Find all the details at jwiresolutions.com.
Dude, I think the race weight deal is going to be a big thing. Actually, I got 2 messages. Dustin Cottle messaged me saying, "Come on, I'm in."
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Hey, Destroyer 1320. Him and I were talking on the phone the other day. All right, well, let's talk about some J-Wire stuff, because we're going to use this segment before we bring on Steve at WireCare. We're going to talk about some of the cars that are headed to Sick Week and some of the updates. But first, I'm going to talk about this heater block-off bypass. Heater bypass block-off. You need this if you got a heater in your hot rod. If you have an LS under the hood, you need this, because this helps keep hot water on one side and cool water on the other. For folks that just remove the thermostat completely in an LS water pump, it takes longer to warm up, all that kind of stuff. So this definitely kind of helps route that flow, so you guys can pick those up. And again, if you're going to buy something, buy it now from J-Wire. He can bring it to Sick Week. They leave on Friday night, so they're bringing the Nova down Friday. They're actually packing right now. Hopefully they're probably still in the garage at Brian's house, getting the car ready to go and stuff like that, and watching over there. So he owns one of the only big decals that are out there for Drag Driver Pete. So it's on the side of the trailer. You guys got to take a look at it and give them a honk as you go by whenever you see them on Sick Week. Dude, breaking news. Did you see this? Well, you sent this to me right before the episode started. So sad.
Yeah. Richard Flint and the orange S2000 got into the wall today during some testing, which was sad. His post said, "First off, I'm completely fine. All the safety equipment did its part, and this could have been much worse. I have the car tore down, and I'll see if it's repairable. We aren't out for Sick Week yet, but it has to be 100% safe for us to make that trip. So here's to a lot of late nights." And then he said, 815 G's. That is the most G's this car has ever pulled, 8.15.
That's insane. That's traction, dude. Car was on a rip. I'm interested to see what happens. There was or what happened. There were a few people in the comments that were asking, but I didn't see any follow up after that. So I'm sure he's working on the car and getting it. But it just literally is on a pass and then just loops, like just kind of makes a turn. It caught the headlight and then of course kind of bounced the back end around. Another orange car that is headed towards Sick Week is the Deal Brothers. I've talked about this car a bunch on here the last couple of weeks. I've really enjoyed the build process of this car, the videos they've been putting out. this car looks badass, dude. The dark headlights, the bull horns on the front. This thing is going to be bad to the bone. And they're talking to Steve at the dyno and says it's 2,450 pounds with no driver. So that's drag and drive ready. 2,450 pounds. Steve wanted to start at like 40 pounds of boost. It made 1,170 on 14 pounds. And then there's a graph that they're talking about stuff, but they never give a number. But the number to the side said 2,000, and it was above that, but I didn't know how much. So I messaged David Deal, and it was like, bro, what? 2,400 pounds? Are you serious? And in the video, they're talking about, if they pulled the radiator and all that kind of stuff out, I mean, you're talking another 150 pounds. I mean, that car could be 2,500 pounds with a driver in it. Oh, wow. 2,100-ish horsepower or 2,100 horsepower on 25 pounds. That ought to be insane.
That's nuts. I'm so excited for those guys. They have worked their butts off to get this car where it is. So I hope that they get everything together, everything is good, and they can make the week and complete it, because that'll be absolutely huge for those guys.
Yeah, huge redemption. Obviously, you guys remember they put it in the wall at Drag Week. It's just amazing that I talked to Nick Deal earlier. David is the one that typically drives the car, and man, he's in for a ride. That's for sure.
Yeah. Next up, Tom Bailey. Did you see 5.901 at 220 mile an hour?
Insane, dude. I had to go back and watch that again later. You and I had been kind of messaging back and forth, and you were like, dude, he ran a 590. And I was like, what? And then he said at 220. So like he was already out of it just around 1,000 foot. This car could really knock some people's teeth in.
So basically coasted to a 590.
Yeah. And you can tell that he was going very fast because he's only at 220, and to run those kind of numbers, I mean, he needs to be 240s ish, something like that, 250s somewhere in range to get up there and run that. That's pretty freaking badass to see stuff. So can't wait.
Name of the game is to complete the week. So that's going to be the big thing. There's some very, very fast cars that are going to be there.
Yeah. So this is going to be a fun one to watch for sure. And then our boy Tom Bagley is in the United States. He sent me a video earlier, but I didn't load it in here. You guys see that little decal there on the bottom?
I dig that.
To UK Tom. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm hoping I can pick those up tomorrow from our boy over at Miller's L. And hopefully he's got those done. We kind of went back and forth a little bit today about some other decal stuff that I want to bring down there with me. I hope this works, man, because it would look super cool on the car. So you can see Deech Works on board, Edelbrock on board, Waff Racing on board with him too. So well deserved for Tom. He spends a bunch of money coming over to the States and makes like 3 or 4 trips a year. And then, of course, this car's got, man, he's hoping to get 20s every day. That's all I'm going to say about the ET plan he has. So he said, I won't care to turn in a 20 every day as long as I'm turning slips in.
There you go. Up next, the Rotson is on the ground on its own suspension and its own weight. If you guys have been following along, they've been doing a bunch of work to the rear end of this car, suspension, new rear axle and everything. So this is going to be pretty cool. This is put together by Rowdy Street Cars, and man, they've been doing a ton of work on it. And I'm excited for you to go check this out at Sick Week and see what it looks like now compared to what we saw at PRI.
Yeah, I just hope it makes a full throttle pass.
Yeah.
And then Rich Guido was in Arkansas this morning, dude. Like,
ooh, is that how much snow you guys got?
Yeah. I don't know if that was Arkansas, but here at the house we got like 6 or 7 inches.
That's a little baby snowstorm.
Yeah, I was gonna say it shut us down here in Bentonville. My kids haven't been to school all week.
No kidding.
Yeah, they're not going tomorrow either, and it got to 41 degrees today. So a lot of this, but we still have snow on our street out front. Like, I mean, it's completely covered on our side road. You know what I mean? There's only like 30 houses that live on this dead end street, but still, I can't imagine what that's like in the country on some gravel roads. So anyways, Big shout out to Rich Guido. Heathen's Garage is riding down with him. They stopped at Bill Armstrong's place last night and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to see all the trip he's taken. He's really done a great job on YouTube and getting everything up there as well.
Oh yeah, and Trevor Brandon, who was in the comments in here earlier, he's in Florida, so obviously had a little mishap with the trailer early on, but that taken care of, and they are officially in Florida.
Bring it on, man. I can't wait to see this car in person. And Ned Dunphy, not coming to Sick Week because he's focusing on his pro mod racing during the Drag Illustrated Winter Series. He said he's wishing everybody the best for this upcoming Sick Week. We are focusing on the Winter Series right now and cannot make this event, but we are upgrading and testing the Viper and we'll be out again soon to crush that 5-second average. Good luck to everyone. So, yeah, bring it on.
Drag Week again. I'll be there.
Yeah. You guys are going to make me end up going to Drag Week, aren't you? That's what's going to happen. Thanks to Jay. Can't wait to hang out with him, see him in just a few days, man. Going to be hanging out with him on Sunday. So big shout out to Jay Wire. Appreciate the support they give us here. And for Steve, that's in the background, we're going to do this ad read, and then we're going to bring you on, sir, to talk about some WireCare stuff. So this will be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. All right, attention racers and high performance enthusiasts. Are you ready to start your next engine build? If so, there is no better time than right now to check out Molly Motorsports all-in-one Power Pack Piston Kits. With over 1,200 applications, these kits come complete with pistons, rings, wrist pins, and clips, all designed to work together. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And for those podcast listeners, Molly is spelled M-A-H-L-E.
Well, perfect. Well, let's move that and let's bring Mr. Steve on. How are you, sir? Great to see you again. We did a little
Great
bit
to
of this.
see you guys.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you on here. One thing about wiring guests is that we've really got to tell people it's okay to wire your own car. You just got to have the right stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you do. And I got to tell you, the best place to get that right stuff is right here at WireCare. So, but hey, before we get into that, thank you so much for having me on, guys. And listen, I'm probably the heaviest I've been as well. So I'm jumping right in there with you. All right.
Yeah.
So
we got another race weight convert here. Yeah, this is. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's just really going to give people an opportunity to talk to each other and be in a group. So we'll get your number. We'll get all that set up and everything. So we'll be holding each other accountable and talking a bunch of trash to each other too. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
you got
that'll
that
be
right.
awesome. Well,
yeah.
Tell us about WireCare. Tell us what you do there, who you are, and what you do there.
Sure, absolutely. So Steve Crane, I've been there for about 16 years. I'm the general manager at this point of the company. I pretty much make sure that everything is running from soup to nuts. That the marketing team is doing their thing, the sales team's doing theirs. That we're bringing in the right products. I'm talking to people every day, and finding out what it is that they need, what they want, and seeing if we can get it for them. On top of that, I'm working a lot with our lack of a better word, our influencers and our creators. These guys have been incredible, and that's what's kind of got me into this side of the business with the automotive industry. It's WireCare is all things wire and cable management. So we appeal to not only the automotive side, but AV, networking, home and office, that kind of stuff. But we've really jumped into the automotive side, and I think mainly because it's sexy, right? It's cars are sexy, and it helps us get things out there. So
yeah. Well, speaking of sexy, let's talk about this sexy beast right here. I love this thing, man.
The van, 1965 Ford Econoline E100. It had it's now got a inline six. It's a 200. Now, when we bought it, it was originally, actually the original plates are still there. You can barely see them right there on the refrigerator. They're North Carolina plates from 1965. The van was used as a a carpet installation van. But
Wow.
when we got it, it was immaculate, to be honest with you. The interior was great. The motor had been rebuilt. Um, you know, underneath was immaculate. So we didn't do a ton to it. We changed out the brakes. We fixed the exhaust. We changed the fuel tank out. We put in a new alternator. And then, you know, basically dressed out the motor with all of our products. And then we dove into the, basically the goal was to dive into the van life, the off-grid solar side of things. And that's kind of what we did here. So the idea was kind of to create a little Woody's vibe with the two-tone woodwork in there. And underneath that bench there to the left is the off-grid solar. So that's the whole solar setup, and then the inverters on the wall next to the TV. And it was just, it was a really fun project. This is my favorite vehicle that we've worked on. A lot of fun to drive too.
Oh, I bet this thing is it's incredible. I didn't know that story. I figured it was a no motor, push it around, just display unit.
No, sir. We got that thing running. It was out at SEMA. We had it there. We had a PRI last year. I don't know if you saw it last year, but did you? Okay, great. But yeah, we drove it. You know, we didn't drive it to Vegas from Jersey, but we did drive it from Henderson, Nevada. Actually, I did from Henderson, about 30 minutes away to the convention center. So
how cool.
Yeah, it was a fun drive. So it's just got a single barrel carb on there. We may, I don't know, we may do something with that. We're talking about it, talking to JH Restoration, those guys, and see if we can do something with that.
How fun, dude. Yeah. I really enjoy this thing. It looks really cool. And like, talk about a statement piece. I mean, this is definitely a statement piece. You pull in with this, it's not just anything anybody sees anywhere else, and it just draws people in, I can only imagine.
Well, it does. And the beauty, I think, of what we did as well is we left the patina on the outside. Listen, it looks like a 65 on the outside. We didn't change anything. It's when you open the doors, then you're like, that's pretty cool. Kept it a little retro, with the shag carpet and all that, and people can appreciate that from back in the day. So it was a lot of fun. And then the rear, if you remember, the back of it is, we turned that into the garage. So this is kind of the lounge, and the back is kind of the garage. And the goal of this, really, we had in our mind, besides the off-grid solar, was drag and drives. So what we had thought was being able to follow the racers, carry our equipment, tools, a lot of the stuff in the back, and be able to help anyone on the side of the road if they needed something.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah.
Yep. So we just got to get it a little more reliable on the drive. So that's it.
Yeah, the best way to do that is to drive them. Fix stuff as it breaks and drive.
This is true. Absolutely true.
Throw the thumb up if you're not good, down or thumb up if you're good. I can fix it, down. Hey, help me.
Good. Agreed.
What other project or cool cars does WireCare have?
So we only recently started to get into fixing some cars. So one of our employees, Joe, he had a roller for quite some time. It's a 1969 Plum Crazy Roadrunner. Now, you may have seen that at PRI a couple years ago. So this thing was in great shape. It really looked fantastic, and the problem is it didn't run. So we decided to have a motor built and put it in and get it running for our buddy Joe, who had it for about 35 years, and it was just sitting. So we wanted to give back to Joe as a great employee, and we said, let's do this. And the project was, it took quite a bit. We're not, motor builders. And look, to be honest, WireCare, we're an e-commerce wire and cable management company. We don't build cars, but we decided to jump all over this. And it was eye-opening to see what these guys go through. And SAS here in New Jersey, they're the ones that built the motor, and they killed it. The car is unbelievable. Joe takes it, throughout the summer. Every weekend, he is at Cars and Coffee. He's at car shows. He is just loving life. We're happy that he's doing it. So that was the first car. Then we got into the van. Right now, we've got a 1980 K10 in the garage. It's got a Cummins motor in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we're rewiring that. So we've done a little bit to it. We're working with a gentleman in the area who is a wiring guru. His name is Jim. He's from Wireworks, and he's coming in. We've got a harness for it, and we're going to start messing around with that and adding a lot of the WireCare products, and then get
awesome.
and get the new harness in it. So we're excited about that. That's really the next thing. Hopefully in the next in the next month, we should have that rolling.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah, a lot of fun. We just try to create some content and have a good time with the products that we sell.
Absolutely. Sounds like the way to go to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, you got to have fun.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, give us kind of a quick overview. I know you talked a little bit about some of the products you have, but give us a quick overview of WireCare. Like, what all do you guys do there?
Yeah, again, we get into all things wire and cable management. So from sleeving to heat shrink to connectors, cable ties, tools, pretty much everything to help someone wire their vehicle from soup to nuts, if you will. So again, yep, that's us there, and we try to bring in some new and different products. We bring in top shelf things. We're not, one of the things about us is that we are not the highest priced, but we're also not the lowest. We're somewhere right in the middle. We think we've got a great product for the value. But our customer service really is second to none. I think we offer a really good customer service and good team that way. And listen, we're there to answer questions. If anyone has any questions, we can help you and answer them for you. We also try to get the product out as quickly as we can. These days it can be challenging, right? With supply chain and the way things are going right now. I'll give you an example. Deutsch, it's a great product. If you haven't used Deutsch connectors, I'm telling you, you'll never go back to anything else. They're very easy to use, to pin, depin. It'll save you a ton of time. But unfortunately, as these companies happen, it makes it difficult to, with all their changing of supply, and it gets a little crazy. Not saying we don't have them. We do. We've got a ton in stock, and we're here to help. Absolutely.
Well, one thing I noticed while I was kind of digging around today, getting photos and stuff like the one I just showed, you guys have, I mean, it's literally car audio, boats, you've got heavy equipment stuff, and there's things for everywhere. So the link I dropped was the racing vehicle segment, which is like, man, it was so long with stuff. I wasn't even going to start trying to mess with it, simply because like there's so many opportunities in there that that I saw. I'm like, man, I need that. I'm sending links to my brother, like, hey, you should look at this stuff for the shop. I mean, I know he uses y'all's sheathing and stuff right now already.
Oh, great.
So, like what else is available? A lot of the he picked that stuff up at PRI. I think it was 3 years ago, and then since then he's like, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's again, back to the industries. I mean, automotive is just one of the industries. Power sports, motorsports, if you will, marine, aviation, space. SpaceX. Robotics. We get into, but like I said, even networking and under desk products to help organize the desk and wrangle your wires and keep everything neat and organized. So we get into just a little bit of everything. If you got wires and cables and even hose, right? We've got things to help you with that. So automotive wise, switches and relays and all sorts of different fuses. So just about anything you need to take care of a harness.
That's
So,
for sure. And one thing that I did notice, and that's kind of where this conversation started at PRI, is
yeah,
the custom tailored
yeah,
drag and drive kits, and that's what drew us in. Obviously, we were over looking at the Rotson and hoping to
sure.
talk to Mike, and um, saw this. This is genius. I mean, I really do think it's a great move for a company like yours that does work with a lot of drag and drive style racers. I mean, like
Yep.
Newbern, Mike Finnegan are influencers within you guys. The Taylors, obviously, I
Yeah.
mean, they have kits, so these were pretty cool. I thought the Pro Kit, I'm sure they're going to have some of these down there. Even Dennis told
Yeah.
me they're going to have some with them. So this is pretty neat.
This is I'm going to backtrack a little bit for you. I'm going to go back several years and talk about Mr. Finnegan. So Mike, kind of the history here with us and Mike. I was at PRI. I've been going there for about 15, 16 years now, and I remember we were in a small 10 by 10 booth. We were actually directly across from Haltech. Great guys, by the way. And Mike walks into the booth. I think it might have been the last day, and I didn't know who he was. So he walks in, he looks at me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Mike Finnegan. I've got a show, Finnegan's Garage, because I would love to review your tools." And I looked at him like, "Review a tool? What do you mean, review the tools? What does that mean?" So like, okay. He said, "Look, I know you're busy. Let's talk after the show." And I did. I gave him a call, spoke to the owner of the company, talked to him, and in my mind, I'm like, well, what happens if you hate the tools? What's going on here? So anyway, long story short, we brought him on, and we've not looked back.
Yeah.
Mike is just a fantastic guy. He's been just a huge help to us, and we can't thank him enough. So one of the things we did with Mike, and I don't know if you saw this on the site, we put together a Mike Finnegan cable tie kit. So we have that, and we did that several years ago. Yeah, yeah. So
How
we thought, yeah, and we thought that would be fun, right? Mike and cable ties. We didn't have the duct tape, so we might as well let's go with the cable ties. So we put the kit together and made it the Mike Finnegan Signature Series cable tie kit. So with us having done that with him, I was talking to Alex and Dennis, and we've been talking over the years and just about different kits and how it finally dawned on me. I'm like, you know what? What about a drag and drive kit? And
Mhm.
the reason is when we were at Six Summer, this was not last year, the year before, we were at Six Summer, and we had our booth and we were helping all the racers, to basically, if they had a wiring issue, they could come to us. We would give them the product, give them the tool that they needed to do the work that they had, just to keep them on the track and keep them going. And from that, all of the people that came to us and said, "Hey, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this?" And I thought about it. I'm like, after talking with Alex and Dennis, I said, "Guys, we need to create this. Let's come up with a really cool kit that we can say, here you go. Something that is, economical, but is also going to help." But then you've got the top of the line kit. So we've got 3 different kits, right? We've got a standard, an advanced, and a pro kit. And that was really Alex and Dennis saying, "Look, let's go this way. In your standard, you've got the basics. You got the things that people might, need to fix something that goes wrong, real simple. Advanced, let's throw a couple other things in there where you might need a circuit breaker or a relay or something like that. And then let's go advanced where we throw all the tools in there and that kind of thing that you can use on the road. And that's kind of how these things kind of evolved into what they are today.
Yeah,
Look,
I wish I had
yeah,
grabbed a better shot of the Pro Kit because it has a ton of stuff. This packaging in this photo
yeah,
doesn't do this thing justice at all. Like the list of stuff that's in there is huge.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of stuff in that. I mean, everything from your fuses and your butt connectors. You've got the tape in there, but the wire, everything from 12, 14, 16, 18 gauge wire in both black and red. You've got heat shrink, you've got sleeving, you've got a circuit tester, you've got a wire crimper, so there's all sorts of things within the kit. And this actually took about, for all three kits, took about a year to compile and get things organized from soup to nuts. It's a fun project. Alex has been phenomenal. Dennis as well, and we're still tweaking it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing, as people look at this and they buy it and they use it, I'm open for any constructive criticism, any issues that they feel, and I'll continue to try and make it better for anyone that wants to tell us if they had any issues.
Right. And I think one thing that's good about like the big kit, of course, is expensive, but you don't have to carry all those other tools that you would normally be carrying because they're all in that kit and it's in one thing. That's what we're seeing as this drag and drive thing evolves. These trailers, we've got to get more efficient, and having that all in one box is pretty good idea. I only grabbed the Pro and the Advanced kit. There is a standard kit available for you guys too. I think it's $49 or something like that.
Yeah, $49.99, $69.99, and $159.99. Exactly. And we will have them, just if I told you or not, we will be at Sick Week as well. So looking forward to seeing you guys, but we are bringing a number of each kit with us.
That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to hang out, man. I'm ready to be at Sick Week, to be honest with you. I wish I was flying at this point. I did message Dennis today and I was like, hey man, give me kind of something I can tell these folks that are at home, what this kit is basically. And so this is Dennis Taylor's quote. He said, I was a little skeptical at first with the idea of these kits, but after working with WireCare and helping design them, I started seeing the benefits. Once we received the kits, I realized how cool they are. I used to gather items from my shop every time that we would do a drag and drive event. And not only does that take time, I usually forgot something. And when we return home, I have to put everything back up in the shop. He said, now all I do is grab the Pro kit and I don't think about what I forgot. I even take one with me when we just make a road trip or are pulling a trailer because we've needed wire repair or fuses in the middle of nowhere and didn't have that stuff. These kits are killer. He went on to say, obviously, please drop the link. We're appreciative of WireCare and what they do with us. So
that's cool. Awesome. Yep. Yeah, they're just such great people. And Dennis did tell me at PRI too. He said, you know what? I've got it right now. I've got one in the truck. I've got it right here in the truck.
Yeah.
It's like, nice.
That works. And I end up carrying I have a bag, that just has a bunch of random stuff in it. It's electrical, it's everything. It's like crimpers, it's got some wire, it's got tools that I need for whatever vehicle I'm driving, all that kind of stuff. So, this would definitely help with some of that pack out. So that's pretty awesome.
Absolutely it would. Yeah, you got it. But yeah, it's just a fun thing. Listen, I'm going to be probably, creating other kits too, depending on what it is. We work with a lot of guys, and we'll see what we end up coming up with. It's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to have to pick up one of those Mike Finnegan cable tie kits, though. Who are you going to be with at Sick Week? What were you going to be? You said you're with somebody in a booth or something?
Yeah. We will be in the Iski Racing Cams booth.
Sweet.
So we're going to be hanging out with Nolan and the crew there. I'm sure Alex and Dennis as well, part of that. But we'll be in there just hanging out again like we did at Sick Summer. We are going to bring wiring supplies. Actually, I've got a skid. It's probably a KSR right now up in Gainesville where we're going to pick that up. Go see Kevin and the guys, but we'll have a wiring cart there, and again be able to offer some assistance, and again free of charge. This is, you come over, you need a battery cable, you need a foot, you need lugs, we can help you out, cut it, crimp it, do whatever you need to keep these guys on the track.
That's all cool, man. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as we kind of wrap up here, what are a few tips that you have for builders or enthusiasts kind of when it comes to wiring and stuff?
A great question. You know what? I'm going to be, not beat around the bush, and basically, it's stop going to Amazon, right? Let's use the right tools and the right products to wire the vehicle. You get what you pay for, and I think when you're shopping at Amazon, you're getting garbage. I think we want to make sure that people are going to, get the good products that they deserve. They're spending all that time wiring up a vehicle and trying to make it run good. And if you don't have the right products, you may not be going. You might be sitting on the sideline and waiting on it. So really, I mean, that's my biggest tip is get the right products, use the right tools that are going to make sure that you stay in the race and on the road.
I like it.
So
Huge.
Yeah.
And man, the one thing I always try to tell people is wiring isn't scary. Like just make sure there's just one line that goes from that piece to wherever you're trying to get power to. That's the problem. Everybody's trying to split one and add a wire to it. And,
Exactly. You know what? It's funny. I am not an electrician. Okay. And I've never wired a full car myself. All right. So I'm just being honest here, but I do work every day with the products and with the people that do. Right. And what I've learned is that the basics of wiring are more simple than the fear of it, if you will. Okay. What are for beginners, look, you got to remember a few things, right? You disconnect the battery, use proper tools. You're going to label everything, and fuse every circuit. On top of that, it's making sure that the load that you need to, whatever that amperage is, right? That wire needs to be able to handle that amperage. Okay, so larger amps or more amps, larger wire, longer run, larger wire. And I think that's that's probably the main thing that I could say, again, from a layman. It just is making sure that again, you're using the right stuff, and again, labeling.
Well, and one great thing, label, take notes, and then try to use different colors where you can. Like if you're running certain stuff, use a damn purple. It doesn't of it doesn't have to be red.
No, and here's a little trick. This is something in talking to people. I've had people who use, they've used all black or something, but they take colored shrink and they'll put a piece of colored shrink on the end just so that they know what is what. That's just something that I've heard. Or they label. We do offer a heat shrink engine label kit.
Wow.
We offer those as well, so you can label those wires. But I do agree with you. I do believe that the different colored wire does make sense.
Yeah.
But again, make sure it's the right size.
Right. We've had Devin Vanderhoof on before, and man, those guys label everything front, like at the connection and at the end, which is huge. So.
Yes, yeah, it really is, and I think it saves you a ton of time and aggravation.
Yeah, oh, that's for sure. Well, Steve, I want to say thank you for coming on tonight, man. It's been great talking at PRI. Obviously, talking here tonight has been awesome, and just in our emails back and forth, you always been super nice. I appreciate that, and then I can't wait to hang out during Sick Week, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely. Listen, hey, thank you both for having me on. It was a real pleasure to meet you guys at PRI and getting to talk to you, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on here and talk about WireCare and kind of what we do. And I can't wait for Sick Week next week. So I'm flying out on Saturday, so excited to get there and see everybody.
That's great. Well, one last question before we go: Are you all doing Sick Summer again as well?
So right now we don't have the plans. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but right now we have not signed up for it. But
Gotcha.
We'll see. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, you're going to be like us. You're going to have so much fun next week. You're like, hey, put us down, man. Let's go.
That's exactly right. Never know.
Awesome. So. All right, Steve. Thank you very much, man. We'll see you soon.
Sounds great. Guys, thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye.
How cool, man. I'm telling you, wiring isn't scary.
No.
That's the big thing. And of course, like if you wire stuff, you need to kind of keep it protected. And that's where WireCare comes in. You got to bundle that stuff. You got to sheathe it. You got to take care of the outside of it. So then, the oil and grime and all that kind of stuff doesn't do damage with it. Again, thanks to Molly Motorsport for all the stuff they do for us here. They're one of our first sponsors that come through the gate. I think they were like number 3 or something like that. And so these guys aren't just supporters and sponsors of the brand here. They're also drag and drive racers. You can see George and Eric, their cars underneath that there. And I can't wait to see if you guys are running Molly Pistons at Sick Week. Please let me know. I would love to come over and get some content for them because Scott and Eric Grillo are not coming to Sick Week. So I'd love to be able to send that back to the team there in North Carolina. And, they can post it up on their social and all that kind of stuff so they can have that content of cars running Molly. So if you have Molly, you're going to be at Sick Week. We're going to be at any of the events throughout the year. Keep us updated, please. We want to keep those guys in content. I'll let you run this one here, sir.
Yeah, appreciate all the race car friends so far. For those that are just tuning in, we're going to talk to the Nivlac crew here shortly. So just finished up with the WireCare. And again, appreciate everybody in here, all of our race car friends, all of our race car friends members, and all of the race car friends that you are going to get to hang out with in 4 days. And of course, all of our sponsors, Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performabuilt Transmission, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. Again, we cannot do all of this traveling and do all this stuff without these guys, so appreciate them. And if you're doing any shopping, check those guys out.
For sure. And then Race Car Friends membership, man, this thing continues to grow. I'm excited to finally get a little bit of the community together. We started this at PRI. It was a good time, but now it's time to show up at an event and kind of have some fun. So as a Race Car member, you get more of what makes Drag Drive Repeat so great. Basically exclusive and behind the scenes content, which video goes out tomorrow. It was supposed to go out last week. I completely missed the date on that, and it'll actually drop tomorrow to our race car friends in an email. Member only live streams, which we're going to begin very, very soon. Like when we get back from Sick Week, we're going to start those drawings, discounts with sponsors, drawings for free entries and all that kind of stuff. Plus exclusive merch that's only available to our race car friends. I'm excited about this shirt that's coming for the race car friends members that haven't done it yet. One of your first emails is a shirt size form. I need you to go in and fill that out if you have not yet. I need those because we're going to be taking care of some of that stuff here pretty soon. And then, of course, special gatherings, parking at drag and drive events across the country. Come hang out with other race car friends. You guys are going to see me. I'm going to be in a white 4-door F-150 with a white trailer behind it. And I'll have 2 blue Summit tents set up at every track. I'm going to have drinks and snacks and all that kind of stuff there. Please come by, hang out. I'm going to have chairs and all that stuff. I actually picked up 2 more chairs yesterday. So I'll have like 6 or 8 chairs there that you guys can come and hang out and just spend some time in the shade, hanging out with everybody. And that's the whole purpose of the Race Car Friends membership, is to create a tighter community within this drag and drive community that we love.
Oh, yeah.
You can find out more, obviously, dragdriverepeat.com/ race car friends -member get you there. So Deechworks, man, love these guys. I can't wait to hang out with them at the circuit. They're bringing 2 cars. It's going to be awesome. Saw Mark Campbell in here making comments earlier. Deechworks is a leading manufacturer of high performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, rails, regulators, filters, lines, and fittings with surge tanks and pump modules, all engineered to support power levels ranging from 400 to 3,000 horsepower. With a focus on engineering excellence and industry-leading customer support, Deechworks continues to drive the future of high-performance fueling. And like I said earlier, they are the official fuel delivery of Drag Drive Repeat right here. But enough about Deechworks and fuel delivery. I want to talk to the Nelsons, Nivlac57 on YouTube. I want to embarrass them for a little bit here before we bring them on. I've been following these guys for a long time. I think I was like, I don't know, I've been around for a minute. Slapping Mechanics public page, the Facebook group. Calvin was on there a bunch. Calvin and Andrew both talking, giving people tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff way back in the day. They obviously have a YouTube channel that has grown to more than 100,000 subscribers. And I can't say this enough. They deserve every bit of success they have earned. And it's just been awesome to see this grow. So I did some research. I was joking with Eric. I'm like, man, they've been on before. I'll go back and get notes from that last show and see what they've been up to since then. Dude, it was more than 3 years ago that they were on. It blew my mind. As Eric said in the opening part of the show, it's been since episode 2 of what would become the Drag Drive for Pete show. So that's kind of crazy. It was December 21st, 2022, the last time these guys were on. I feel like they've been on since then, but I could not find it. So if they have, I'm sure they will let us know, because they are two of the smartest dudes that I know ever. And the wife, the mom, she is one of the greatest people you'll ever meet, ever. So let's go ahead and bring on the Nelsons now that we've completely embarrassed them. And guys, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's awesome to get to hang out. Because we can get all the small talk out now, and that way whenever we're at sick week, we're just hanging out.
You can hand us wrenches.
As long as we're not at the track in hot time, I'm good with that. I'll do that. I'll give you guys moral support. That is awesome. Well, y'all, I can't believe it's been 3 years since you've been on. That seems pretty wild to me.
It's been a while.
And I guess it's just because we've probably seen you a lot of different times, several sick weeks, sick summer you've been at. I mean, obviously you won Sick Week Freaks this last year. Like, it's been awesome kind of getting to know you guys and seeing you at PRI. So we see each other a couple times a year. Maybe that's why it's got my mind all jacked up. We need you on more often.
We're almost tolerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Almost close. You guys are so awesome and a lot of fun. Well, I want to start off. I wanted the first note here I have is like, what have you been up to? What have you been doing the last 3 years besides building a plethora of hot rods?
I mean, it's been kind of a whirlwind. I mean, we probably the last time we were on was around the time that Dad had his wreck. Unfortunately,
we were getting ready for Sick Week.
Thrashing. Yep. Trying to get the Volvo ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the car that we were building the last time that we were on no longer exists. But Dad is still sitting here next to me, so we're very thankful.
Yep.
And he's still deals with it every day. I mean, maybe he can speak on that a little bit, but we've learned a lot since then, and we definitely think about how we build cars a little differently. We can explain everything that happened with that wreck. We can explain exactly, where the problem was and how we can prevent it in the future. There was definitely a series of, stars that aligned that made that event happen. And I think it happened for a reason. And,
well, you guys have been building cars for a long time. So to get to that level and then learn, so that was one of the craziest things we've seen. For the folks that don't know, is a Volvo 159. Is that right?
It was a PV 544.
I was close. It's kind of this little hatch, 50s, early 60s Volvo.
Yeah.
And luckily you guys had built too much cage for it, really. I mean, that was, I think we had that conversation in the thing that you guys were over safety, all that kind of stuff. And hey, I mean, that's why y'all did that,
Yep. Yeah, it was spec to a 650 cert roll cage, and that cage did its job. It's, I did every single weld in that cage was done by me, and not one of them failed. So
that's awesome.
At least I learned that I can weld. So.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to learn though.
not the way. No, not at all. And then it's great to have Andrew here doing this stuff. I mean, at that point we were a little nervous for sure.
Yep.
It's been a long road.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine. I remember talking either on the phone or maybe it was at an event. It was like a year later, and you were like, "Man, I'm still like had some shoulder stuff going on, and just struggles from there." Because like you had some pretty serious G's while you were doing topsy turvy stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but anybody who's gone through an incident like that, they have to be diligent about the recovery part of it.
Yeah.
Over 970 hours of physical therapy.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, that takes away from hot rodding, dude.
It's been a long road. A lot of tears were shed working through the pain of bringing it back. But good Lord has got a purpose for us, and we're out there at it full steam again, and very, very grateful for that.
Well, Eric and I were joking before the show. I want to bring the shots back up. This first segment here, I want to talk to you guys is more about like the fleet of stuff that you have. Kind of some of the builds you've got going on and stuff like that. So one thing that really kind of I feel like helps cement in your lore of Nivlac57 YouTube channel stuff is the 4200 Atlas setup, winning 6 week freaks. I feel like is even very recent. But you guys have a ton of really fun, cool cars. You've been building cars for a long time. So talk to us about this Sunbird and what the heck, how did that car come about? What was the history on it?
Well, it's had quite the history. Participate in the Grassroots Motorsports Challenge with the car. And the reason that he went after it is because he likes H bodies. And he saw that the guy spelled Pontiac wrong. It was Pontaic, I believe. Yep. And as soon as he saw that the guy caught that he had the wrong spelling, he jumped on it and bought the thing for $300 with a roll bar already installed in the car. No rust, car was a
40,000 mile car.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So it was originally built with a small block Chevy, 360 cubic inch small block Chevy, and it competed at the what was that? 2014 Grassroots Challenge. Won the drag racing portion of that with a broken torque converter.
Yeah.
Then this was around the time we started to get into LS swaps, and at this time I had no experience with EFI. Neither of us had any experience with the LS stuff. So it was one of the first cars that we did a LS swap in, and put the complete wrong turbo on the car. We put a 59 millimeter turbo on a 5.3. So we just did everything wrong on the thing. Too small of a wastegate. And, the wrong this, the wrong that, and junk injectors, and we learned so much on that thing. But we ended up slowly developing the car over the years. Doing more and more refinement to that LS combo. And eventually the car went a 9.04 at 155?
152.
52. Yep.
Yeah, your best was 9064 and mine was 9046.
Wow.
Yeah. And at that point, it had a 5.3 with a 80 millimeter turbo, more appropriately sized. And that was at the Grassroots Challenge as well. And then this guy, you may have heard of him, Cletus McFarland. I don't know. If you haven't heard of him, it's okay.
YouTube channel.
So he had this little challenge, this $10,000 shootout with him and his buddies. And we saw them have so much fun that there was a little bit of a discussion of like, oh, this might become a real class. That
there was a bunch of people that were wanting to get involved with it.
And, we've done the Grassroots Challenge for years and years. And, you only have a $2,000 budget for that. They're up to $10,000. So we're like, well, let's take our $2,000 budget and multiply it by 5 and see what we can do. So we built the car for less than $10,000, but we figured we would handicap ourselves a little bit. We would, go with something that's not as easy, the LS. We'll go with the 4200 instead. And so we built the car. Bullseye hopped on board to sponsor us with a turbocharger 8088. Big thanks to those guys.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty fast build. I think we turned that thing around in like 2 months.
Yeah, it was
Oh my
6
gosh.
weeks. 6
Yeah.
weeks. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's next level insane.
Yep. And we went to the event having only dynoed the car. We were hoping to get a track session in, but it just didn't line up.
Mhm.
The thing made 800 at the wheels.
780.
780. Yeah, 780 at the wheels. And we took it to the event, and I wasn't really expecting it to do as well as it did. I certainly had high hopes for the car, but without having test time, you're kind of, you just don't know what's going to happen. It's a drag and drive, how the car's going to spool. We had the transmission apart the day we loaded the car.
The day, like 25 minutes before it was put in the trailer.
Oh my God.
He was pouring oil in it. He pulled it into the driveway, did a trans brake and a bump test, and the bump led to a second bump, and the second bump led to driving it in the trailer, loading it, strapping it down, and driving.
So ended up getting into the event, found that the thing took a little while to spool up. Luckily, we got it was like 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how high it was. So I kind of had to be like, okay, buddy, we got a guy that's going to line up next to me, buddy. Okay. Don't even start to spool your car until I'm in.
Yeah.
Don't worry about burning me down. Just wait.
Yeah. You're not going to burn me down, I promise.
You're not going to burn me down. Take as long as you need. Just please. And had to fight through that all week. The last day, I unfortunately I screwed up on the first time that I launched, and then I had a single pass. I screwed up my reaction time, and it added, of course, that adds to your time slip. And I was down in the dumps about that. Luckily, we were able to get another pass, and we were able to lock up the win. The car ended up going in 874 at 159
for $10,000.
Yep.
Wow.
And I will say, we had the quickest average of all the $10,000 cars that showed up to the event. So,
yeah, Eric, I remember us having that conversation, right? Like, hey, if these dudes are going to do this, everybody else is in trouble,
Right?
Because we knew. I mean, we've been following a while. I knew the history of the Grassroots Challenge and all that kind of stuff from your time on the show before and your YouTube channel and all that stuff. I mean, I knew if anybody could do it in a budget, it'd be you guys. But man, 870s for 10,000, that's pretty. And not using some big crazy cubic inch V8 or anything like that, doing it with a 4200, which is nuts. Yep. So that kind of leads us in a little bit. Tell us about. I think I have a picture of the yellow car in here because you had this. Is this 6 Summer 24?
That's that's
24.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, this thing makes a lot of sense in my mind. I feel like this car would be one people would build. I think it just looks fun, sounds fun, just a great project all around.
That car, since the last drag and drive that it went to, it's gone 880s. There's a lot more potential left in that car, and we're looking forward to bringing it back. We've been working with a cam company to develop camshafts for the 4200. We've got a lot of things that we're going to change on the car before the next time that it comes back. But you'll see that car probably late 26, starting to show up in some more videos, and super excited about it. For all the cars that we've had on the drag and drive events over the years, that one definitely is one of my favorites. It brings a big smile to my face just walking out, getting ready to climb in the car and checking it out. And, everybody's got a favorite car. And that happens to be mine. And I really, really enjoy driving it. So I'm looking forward to bringing it back to another event.
That's awesome. Well,
that happens
listen.
to be, that happens to be the highest horsepower Atlas build to date. Now, when we get the car that we'll probably talk about a little later, we're
going to do a whole segment on that thing.
Yeah, we made 1,004 wheel horsepower with that car. So
wow, man, that's insane. Out of a Trailblazer
inline six.
Yeah. Well, you guys obviously 6-cylinder stuff. You're known for that, but you've also messed with the 5-cylinder. What about some 4-cylinder Atlas stuff coming?
Yeah, we have some plans. Yep. We got a cylinder head being machined right now, getting ported, and we're slowly accumulating the parts. A lot of the things that we learned on the 5-cylinder are going to apply to the 4-cylinder.
Oh, wow.
They both have balance shafts, so it changes the bell housing and flywheel dimensions, and those are things that will be carryovers from the 5-cylinder build. But I assure you, we will not do a 9-day build to do that one. That is going to be a pretty comprehensive effort to try and get a car that'll compete, for the record at a drag and drive event with a 4-cylinder. It's we've got a lot of details that we need to work out in the background to make that happen, but we're pretty optimistic at this point that the lessons learned from the 6 and then the 5 are going to really make the 4-cylinder a comprehensive package that we can be proud of.
Interesting. Somebody tag Scott Glassbrook and Tony Nimchik. We need to get some of this 4-cylinder 4G63 trash talk in here, because that's what both of those guys are. I think that's what currently holds the top 2 spots.
Yeah, we talked to them at PRI. We were just like, I love your car, man. Like, but we're gonna build one too. Not trying to throw any stones. Just
Yeah. Ralph Foy in here, who just made a trip across the country to pick up a 4G63 powered car as well. Yeah. Yep. Now, a 2,300 mile trip in a car that he bought basically over the phone and flew in to get, the stories like what you guys do,
Well, let's talk a little bit about the North Star 57 build.
Sorry. Hang on, I got the.
So that one's a bit of a struggle, just because for me, I that's definitely one of my sort of passion builds. Like I'm excited to get that one done, but a lot of our builds are driven by what event can we take it to. And for that car, it's like, it doesn't really fit into anything. You're competing against, all the big V8 cars, and anything that you take it to, you're competing against, 400 plus cubic inch small blocks with a 278 cubic inch V8. So, it's a bit of a struggle. Like a lot of people ask, when are you going to do the North Star? And, we're still, obviously going to finish it. I have a lot of time and effort and money tied up into making that happen, but it's, the whole concept of the build is, this North Star is kind of this legendary engine for good reasons and for bad reasons. It had a lot of success in IndyCar, and if you take the thing apart, it looks like an IndyCar engine. It's incredible. Wow. They just had a few issues, and our aim is to fix those few issues, and maybe we could have something that competes with a Coyote or some of the other dual overhead cam V8 offerings, but
Wow.
we're the only ones doing it. Just like the 4200, like there's a lot of people that have done high performance 4200. Same with the North Star, but they don't share their secrets and they don't document their builds, and they don't have enough volume to have an aftermarket support. So it takes time. It's just you can't just snap your fingers like an LS and just order a whole bunch of stuff for it and have the thing running in a week.
Right. Have some off the shelf cams and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like one of the things that Calvin's done through the channel that a lot of folks don't do is he shares all the details that it takes to do the work to have the success. When you look at what has happened on the 4200, he started a wiki, he shared all the details. And when you try and do these oddball builds like the North Star, you would think that something as simple as a starter motor would be a bolt-on piece, and yet that takes a tremendous amount of development to make an adapter that's going to work on the flex plate, that'll work on a converter that matches up to the transmission. And it's those kind of delays become a big hurdle, and that's where a lot of people are pushing of, hey, when are you going to get back on it? They don't realize that the 100 hours that go into solving something that should be a bolt-on part that is not transferable when you adapt it to a different transmission.
I probably put 15 hours into a starter and flex plate solution that I literally have to throw in the garbage can because it won't.
Man. Wow. Yeah, Jeremy Ortiz here saying the wiki is a godsend for us.
And that's something that, not to throw any stones, but that's something we learned when we got into the LS. You'd ask simple questions that people would lead you down a rabbit hole. And then when you found the solution, we were quick to share it, and you'd get a dozen people. Well, we could have told you that. Well, we asked the same question. We couldn't get the answer, and that's something that both of us are committed to. That let's let all the boats in the pond rise together. Let's not hide the information. And
I sure do miss forums.
Yeah,
yeah. Everybody on Facebook's an expert. People in the forums weren't, because man, you just get drug hard.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's so. The North Star that you're messing with, was it a rear-wheel drive car?
Yes.
Or so what did they come in that was rear-wheel drive?
It was they actually came in all-wheel drive as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the ones that I have, the two that I have were from an all-wheel drive. I believe it's the SRX. It's an SUV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they did come in rear-wheel drive as well, but they also came in the XLR, which is like the mini Corvette looking Cadillac.
Yeah. Good luck buying one of those. But the SRX, you probably buy those all day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I bought two of them for $500, and the guy said that both of them were good. Unfortunately, he left the one out in the rain, and it got pretty rusty inside. But between the two of them, I made one, and that's
awesome.
In the car.
Yeah, I always just think of the North Star. Back in the early 2000s, I sold Cadillacs new, and I just remember driving those DeVilles that were like a jelly bean. But man, the torque steer on those things, I can't imagine some 80-year-old lady getting in her DeVille and matting it and just put her in the ditch. So
it's
fun times.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because we have a Eagle Talon. That we used the 4T80 in with a LS4, and that thing wanted to try and swap lanes on gear shifts. We still hold the record for the fastest front wheel drive LS powered car. It ran nines at 151 miles an hour.
Man, no way.
And
I thought that was interesting.
it was funny because the one day we made a pass down at Cecil County, and Calvin looks at me when I got back to the pits, and he's like, "You're willing to get way closer to the wall than I am."
Yeah, I can only imagine. So yeah, I didn't even grab a picture of that car. Wow, that's so cool. You guys have a great mix of car stuff. Eric, you want to ask him about this next one here?
The VQ56 build.
BK.
BK. Yep. Sorry.
Dang it,
Close
Mike.
enough.
Yeah.
Close enough. VQ, it's like a Nissan 350Z, but bigger.
Man, there's people that can probably fight you over that one.
Right.
Well, what's the deal with this one? Tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, there's this man, you're probably familiar with him. His name is John Rogers, and he kind of unearthed this hidden gem that has been hiding in the junkyard for so many years. Over in New Zealand, these engines are extremely popular for like sprint cars, like dirt track racing, and asphalt racing. So they take these engines and they de-stroke them to a 4-liter. So they have these real tiny strokes, and the piston moves like this much, and they just rev the thing to a bajillion RPM, but they don't put turbos on them. They just run them naturally aspirated. So John was getting tired of his 2JZ blowing head gaskets, so he thought he would give one of these VK56s a shot, and he made 2,000 horsepower at the wheels with a stock block. And after we saw that, we were like,
what is this again, please?
So we kind of came at it from the other end. He put forged rods, forged pistons, all the, copper head gaskets. He dry decked it, everything you could do to the thing to make it live, he did. And, that costs a fair amount of money. And we kind of came at it from, okay, we're fans of sloppy mechanics. Let's do a sloppy mechanics inspired build where we literally just take an engine from the junkyard. The only thing we upgraded on the thing was we put a set of oil pump gears from Boundary Performance. I forget what the what the exact name of the company is. They make really nice stuff. And the only reason that we did that is because it's a common failure point that people have found on the Nissan engines. So that is literally the only thing we did to the engine. We didn't do valve springs. We didn't do cams. We didn't do head gaskets. We didn't do head studs, nothing. It was a stock engine out of a truck that was sitting in a field that we just put oil pump gears in. And we've been slowly developing the thing. And we put a 7875 turbo on it to start. Found that was a little too small for our power goals. Our goal was to break 700 wheel horsepower. And now the car has an 8082 force performance turbo on the car. And it makes a lot of power. We can't quite get it to the ground yet, which we've now rectified.
That problem's been solved.
Yes, we were having issues with torque converter slip, which Circle D.
Shout out. Damn
That
area
one.
over there.
So big thanks to those guys.
Yep.
So
stick shift racer that works at a torque converter company.
So we've made 707 wheel horsepower on, I believe it was 24 pounds of boost.
Yep.
And slipping the crap out of
28% converter slip.
Yeah. So
simple calculation. That's well north of 800 wheel.
Yeah.
Once you get
That's
that harness.
Yeah, and that was revving the thing to 7,800 RPM with stock valve springs.
Man, that's crazy. And like stock valve springs and boost and high RPM. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then you ran it on a Link ECU or something like that. Am I thinking?
Yeah, we're running the car on a Link ECU. They support the factory crank trigger. My goal with the build was to spend as little as possible, go with as much of reusing the factory stuff and that kind of stuff. C3 Performance helped us out with the adapter plate. It already had a provision for the factory crank sensor, and the goal was just to just do a basic kind of spend as little as possible, VK56, and still have good drivetrain parts behind it, Turbo 400 and that kind of stuff. So
how cool, man. Yeah, I think that's what I've enjoyed about y'all's channel for so long is like there's I can't imagine how many Trailblazers were purchased after you made power, right? Like my old truck, like it's got a turbo, 5.3 in it now and all that kind of stuff. And I legitimately was like, man, it sure would be cool. That truck came with the 6. It'd be kind of cool to go back to. But listen, I tore the front off of a 4200. No, I'm not doing that motor anymore. In a Trailblazer, worst setup you could ever imagine. Now, maybe out and in a 2-wheel drive, that's probably okay.
Yep. Yeah, I spent about 4 months re-engineering my Trailblazer to make it not awful. And it took every bit of 4 months. I re-engineered the entire front of the car, suspension, intake, exhaust, everything, just to make it less of a nightmare. And still not the easiest thing to work on, but it's a lot better than the factory.
Right. And that's another build that's kind of been fun to watch, is you guys doing a Trailblazer SS but quicker type deal with the 4200, and it's pretty cool. You guys have just a crazy fleet of cars. I don't know if we have the time to go through all of those, but there's a stack of them for sure.
Yep.
How cool. The last bit I want to talk about is one of your most recent videos. Is this 8HP, ZF 8HP, whatever, something like that. That rebuild seems pretty cool. That's a transmission I feel like is going to become really, really popular just because of the availability of that thing and the power level it can hold, right?
Yep. Yeah. So going back to the Trailblazer that I was talking about just before, we've taken a completely stock ZF 8HP transmission. We put it behind a 4200. So it's not the 4200 isn't a complete torque monster. It's not going to be like a positive displacement supercharged V8, like a Hemi or something like that. So, it does have a bit of an easier life in our application, but, it's a 4,600 pound car as well. So with that, we're putting about 700 horsepower through the thing, completely stock. And, you get, you get 6 gears to 1-to-1, and then you get 2 overdrive gears. So to me, it's the ultimate drag and drive transmission. Just because they're so cheap, they hold the power, they have overdrive, they're extremely efficient. I wish that's something that doesn't really come across in the videos is I wish I could convey to people how efficient it is, because it never, like a Turbo 400, you go through the gear and it kind of lays over when you shift and then it comes back. And this thing is just bop, 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 like you're just in the seat all the time because it's just banging through gears, keeping the engine in its power band. You don't have any torque converter slip because they rely on the lockup torque converter pretty heavily. And I wish that came across better in the videos, is just how efficient it is.
One of the big things that I saw Calvin's reaction after some of the passes that he made, and we collect a lot of data, analyze a lot of data, and the horsepower at the engine and the horsepower that it takes to make the vehicle run the times was so disproportionately closer with that transmission compared to turbo 400s and other transmissions that it was very exciting to see that for 100 less horsepower you could get the same ETs.
It went 1076 in a 4,600 pound car pulling 13 pounds of boost.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What's the final eighth gear drive ratio on those things?
I think it's 0.68 overdrive.
Wow. How cool. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Joe here says, been here since Calvin's first videos. Glad to see how far you guys have come. And we're going to talk about that as we wind down the last bit. But I want to move on. I want to talk about this car that you guys are bringing to Sick Week. So, again, thanks to DeechWorks. Guys, appreciate them. They are going to be campaigning 2 cars at the circuit. I'm excited to see those guys there. Mark Campbell, 850 killer, going to be giving Brian Acton a real run for his money. Anytime you're ordering fuel stuff, DDR10 for a 10% discount at DeechWorks.com. Performer built stuff. These guys kind of up in your neck of the woods. He's in Pennsylvania, I think, New Jersey, somewhere up there. A master at GM stuff. I'll let you read it, Eric. I'll stop talking.
Performer Built is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performer Built Transmissions, their goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and achieve the highest levels of performance. That is why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performa built. And
All right.
Trevor Brandon here saying Sick Freaks are bringing the heat this year.
That is for sure, and that's actually what we're going to talk about right now. Is this this car that's coming? Hang on, let me see if I don't know if I put the photo in you sent me. I didn't put the photo in you just sent me. Dadgummit. Sorry. Anyways, tell us about this Camaro, because this thing has been a blast to watch as well. You've got an entire series on this thing. Every time you're working on it, you're putting up videos. So, man, I want to know all about it.
So for me, this is kind of a dream build. I've always been a 6-cylinder guy. I got my start with a 250 inline 6 and a 64 Nova that I wanted to hop up. And unfortunately, the car got totaled before I could do anything with it. And the 4200 was the engine that everybody was pushing me to put into the car. But back at that time, they were very expensive. And that's kind of what spawned the whole channel and everything. And I've always, I love the V8s as well, but at heart, I'm an inline 6 guy. And this car is definitely a kind of a dream build for myself. To me, the coolest cars ever are the pro mods that race at World Cup with the RB26 and the 2JZs. Those are that is the peak for me. And this car is our humble attempt at, maybe not quite that extreme, which maybe someday we'll do something that extreme. Who knows? Yeah, but this is an entry into that world with our platform of choice. So we picked up the car 2 years ago, a year ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. It's kind of been on the back burner for a little while. The car already had a 25.5 roll cage and a 750 cert cage, which is the reason that we were so interested in it. And I've just been gradually, plotting and planning and coming up with how I want to do it. And that is what you see in those pictures. So it's a Vortec 4200 from a Trailblazer with forged rods, forged pistons. Head was ported by Faster Proms. Ellis George was actually the man who ported the cylinder head for
nice
car. Dad built the equal length 6-into-1 header. Got to say a big thanks to MW Steel for the dual plenum intake manifold. Bullseye sponsored us with a turbo for that one, 8388, a 6-inch core intercooler, and it's hopefully going to be something to see. Unfortunately, our plans are to bring it to Sick Week, which is in a couple of days. but it does not run right now. So
and you guys are in here sitting with us. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of wiring to do.
We put clean T-shirts on. What you don't see is we're filthy from the waist down. We just threw clean T-shirts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a little bit of wiring to do. We've started to put fluids into the thing, check for leaks. Got to build a belly pan, couple other bits and bobs. But hopefully tomorrow it will fire up for the first time. But it's our first time doing a dry sump system. We've never, Dad has piles of dry sump parts, but we've never actually done one ourselves. So it's going to be a learning experience, which hopefully goes smoothly. And that car also has a Dodge ZF 8HP transmission behind it, which is the one that you were alluding to before that we did a little bit of an upgrade to. And then it has kind of a weird rear in the back. It's a Dana 60 in the back. So that came with the car.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's what came in those cars, or that's the first, like that's the easiest upgrade or something like that. I can't.
No, the S60 Strange put it together, and they became very popular. Those are very, very good cars, and but it was a very popular non-Ford 9-inch swap.
Some people they want to have a Chevy rear in their Chevy, so they don't want to put a Ford 9-inch in my Chevy.
Yeah. It'll never go as fast. All Chevy parts makes it, that's with the 10th or something. Who knows? This car's been a blast to watch, and I really have appreciated how in depth you're going with all the stuff. Like the most recent video, because I've looked, it is the most recent. I've been every couple hours I refresh looking for a new video, but that's okay. It's okay. We're just hanging on the edge of my seat here. But your most recent was the rebuild of the 8HP, and you really go into detail about how this setup, this isn't a Hellcat transmission. This is like the V6 setup or regular V8 car, and why you chose it and all stuff. So big, big props for that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to share the information. There's a lot of people that seem to know a lot about the transmissions, but they don't really want to share it because they're probably trying to run a business, and that's understandable. But our business is to share with everybody, and so.
Yeah. So I think the kit you have now is like it adds extra clutches into a couple different drums or something like that. I was really trying to follow along, but listen, automatic transmissions, voodoo magic, and you guys have it figured out.
Yeah, I was like you like 3 years ago, and we kept blowing them up, and I was like, all right, I got to learn these things. I'm tired of paying somebody else to rebuild them.
Yeah, what doesn't come across in the video is the transmission was assembled and disassembled 7 times to get everything right.
Yeah, it looks like it went together super smoothly, but I had that thing apart and back together so many times, and I was like tearing my hair out.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that now. Is he wearing different shirts? And
I walk into the garage, his eyes are spinning. He's like at wit's end. And, okay, let me help you out here.
Now I'm pretty comfortable with it, but it took a couple. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's once the recipe's available, that again will be something probably added to a wiki page or something like that. And the goal is to try and get this as affordable for as many people as possible. And we don't begrudge anybody who's making a business and doing work like that. But there's so many young people out there who don't have the means to try and build something fast, and we certainly cater to folks like that, folks who have limited means and are struggling, that want to time goes by so fast, you get old so fast.
Don't say it out loud.
we want to see people succeed as quickly as possible, and it's one of the joys that I have is seeing a resurgence of a lot of young people getting into the sport, and we hope that we hope to see that continue, that trend continue.
Well, and with what you're doing with the 4200, I mean, somebody in their early 20s, their mom has a Trailblazer that doesn't run right anymore, and it's parked out back. They can have that thing, and they can build, a duplicate to what you got. They can go to the junkyard, they can pull this transmission out, and they can go through your video and watch you take it apart and put it together and all that kind of stuff. And like, that is a big deal. And that's why, I mean, Sloppy Mechanics, you guys, obviously, I mean, that truly does drive a lot of stuff. And I am in my mid 40s, and I started cutting up, and I did my own wiring harness and everything based on all the stuff I read on Sloppy Mechanics. You know what I mean? Like, without that, I would have paid somebody to do it, and I'd have built some engine that it'd have been down another 3 years. And instead, I built everything in it, and we've since built a business out of all that. So,
But it's funny you brought the one picture you brought up with the 3 Fairmonts. That is Matt's Fairmont. He came to visit us the one day, and
that's awesome. That's the not sloppy mechanics Fairmont there.
He's been a good friend for us. Yep. Very, very helpful, and really appreciate what he did for the whole business and making. Yep. The LSs what they are.
Well, for me, it's like, going back to the Sunbird, we talked about that earlier. Like, that was our first LS build. Like, you better believe I was all over the Sloppy Mechanics wiki. Like, well, Sloppy Mechanics says we should do this and blah, blah,
yep.
blah. And like, to go from that to like, 7 years later, 10 years later, I'm riding in the passenger seat of, the Sloppy Mechanics Fairmont. Like, it's just like, I really like, I really took a moment to kind of soak that in when that was happening. It was just like, this is really cool.
That's awesome. Hey, when you guys get back from sick week, we need another Sloppy Mechanics radio show with you guys and Matt. Like, that would be another good one. That would, listen, I need a good 4 hours worth of podcast time to listen to again. That is one great thing about that. And you guys have the knowledge and car history of building to do that. So let me ask this. What's the goal for this car? I mean, obviously, to just mop the floor with some non-V8 powered stuff at sick week?
So the guy who's
first goal is to
So the guy who's probably going to mop the floor with us actually made a comment earlier. But the goal is just to get there and just see how the week goes. Dialing in new cars takes time, and that's why we're so adamant about testing. We're not even going to have a dyno session on this one, which is going to suck because we have experience with the engine. The engine used to be in my Fairmont, and it made good power. We made it made oil pressure. Like, we know, like, the engine's probably going to be a runner, but it's just, there's a lot of new. We like to repeat a phrase. What does new stand for? New stands for never ever worked. So you gotta get those new parts into the working category, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. So our goal is to finish the week. I'd love to see single digit passes every day. That would be cool. If things go well, maybe we'll swing to the fences on the last day, but the eventual goals are to go sevens. Is why we built the car, but we're not gonna push ourselves. We're not gonna push the components beyond their limits, especially without having the opportunity to test them.
We'll sneak up on those sevens, and you'll see the car develop over the course of time. This won't be its one and only drag and drive. You'll see development on this. Once we get the cams sorted out that we're working on in the yellow car, you'll see a similar installation into the red car. The red car offers a lot of things that are going to be an advantage over the yellow car.
Weight, probably, I would assume.
Yeah, oh my word, yes. That thing's a really old gal. and you're going to see some weight reduction on it, but making that thing as skinny as possible, it's still going to be
where we start with the red.
It's the red car is already dwarfing.
The red car's like we haven't even gone after trying to make it light, and it's like that's probably all we could hope for out of the yellow car.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see this thing come together, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, we're at 2 hours. We've got one more segment to talk about. What haven't we talked about on the Camaro? What have we missed? What ECU? What controls it? All that kind of stuff.
So with the 8 HP, there's a couple of controllers available, but we like to run a max ECU because it doubles as our engine management system and our transmission management system. So the max ECU guys offer a firmware that you can flash right to the factory ZF controller. You don't have to take anything apart. You don't have to solder anything in like with some of the other solutions out there. You literally just flash their firmware right to it, and it talks with the max ECU, and it does what you need it to do. That's what we're doing on the Trailblazer. It's worked out well. So we're going to run a max ECU. It's actually the max ECU out of my Fairmont. So
that is one benefit of having a fleet of cool cars.
Yes.
You're like, hey, let me see this track here for a minute. I just need it for a couple weeks. How cool. Okay, Eric, let's move on, man. Big shout out to Ryan Snyder and the guys at Performabuilt. They're GM transmission specialists. They have a 7-second F-body 4th gen Camaro that's running a 4L60. If you guys can believe that's pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. Yeah. So let's move on to the AFCO Racing products segment here. Racers know when you want performance that wins, you want AFCO. From shocks and suspension to cooling, brakes, and more, AFCO Racing has been helping teams go faster for over 30 years. Built by racers for racers. Check out the AFCO Advantage and follow them today on social media for the latest in performance parts. AFCO Racing is built to win. So speaking of winning, this really isn't a competition, but let's talk about YouTube. There's a lot of people that watch this that have channels. You see a lot of YouTube comments over here on the side. You guys have had an incredible 2-year run. This has been it's probably been 3 or 4 years, really. Time goes fast now. But I feel like I came in 1,800 subscribers, something like that. And it's just been a rocket ship for you guys. So first off, I want to say congratulations. Second off, 107,000 subscribers. You guys are doing the Lord's work. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
How cool.
Yeah. Came in the mail the other day.
Man, that's so awesome and so well deserved too. We've talked this whole time about just your willingness to share all this stuff. But I'll tell you, the build process, the quality of videos have been high the whole time. But man, these last few months, last few year probably has been pretty impressive. Some primo thumbnails here, man. Loving these.
Yeah. That popped in my head. I'm like, oh, this will work.
Yes. This one here, the view count. I wish I'd pulled the view count in. I think this video has 100,000 views on it or something like that. This one's
350 something.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, you've been doing an incredible job. So I definitely want to talk about that. Obviously your success, but what drives you? Who edits for you? Do you edit? How do you shoot? What's the whole plan there? Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, I pretty much do all the filming, all the editing. My brother does help here and there. I got to say a big thanks to him. It's sometimes I'll kind of get in this frantic, I need to get this done. And my brother will be like, I got you. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I do pretty much everything. And,
wow.
There's a lot of planning that goes along all in the background. There's a lot of planning. These shelves behind me are future plans. But there's a lot of, time and effort from all of us that goes into trying to, like
this truly is a family affair.
Yeah.
And the part that you see, Calvin is the primary on. What happens in the background, chasing parts down, gathering things, doing a lot of tedious machine work. Those are things that aren't captured, but there's days that recently there was 10, 11 hours on the lathe spent building things, and when you realize that and appreciate that as it's a family effort and we're all focused on that goal, it all comes together. But at the end of the day, I can look out my window and see his light is on and he's editing videos. And I know how challenging that is, because it's hard to capture the moment, and the moments happen, clear out of the blue. Probably one of the most fun videos that we ever did was the supercharger that we put onto the Camaro. And that was that showed a lot of the jovial behavior that was going on as we were carrying on in the process of putting it on. And most builds are not that way. Most builds are the 10 hours that you're standing there next to the lathe, and there's not a lot of interest in that. But when you capture the flavor of what it takes to put something together and put a good message that flows, and it captures the audience's interest, it's very rewarding for him. And we can see that the watch time and the engagement that folks have in the videos, it's consistent throughout the videos. So it speaks a lot about how good the editing is. And putting together this piecemeal stuff, we both have full-time jobs, so all of us work. So we're doing this stuff at nights and on weekends, and to put out the sheer volume that's going on, you can imagine how many 100-hour weeks get put in there a year. And it's a burden of passion and a burden of being focused on what we want the future to look like.
Well, man, that makes me feel like I'm not working enough. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Because it's impressive, man. These videos come out they're 30, 40 minutes long, and we've got great content in them and how to do stuff and all that. Man, yeah, it's been really fun. So give us the run up of like 10 to 100,000 subscribers. What's that timeline?
So it took us a year to go from 1,000 to 10,000. It took another year for us to go to 10,000 to 20,000. It took another year for us to go to 20 to 40. And then it took us another year to go from 40 to 100. So, yeah, it's definitely an exponential curve.
Yeah.
One of the goals.
It's a dyno graph for for this Camaro.
Yeah. One of the goals has been to build something that's sustainable. There's a lot of channels that have this meteoric growth, and then they die off very quick because they're a splash in the pan. And one of the things that I really appreciate is when you read the comments, and I read every comment on the videos, is how many people are coming back, and how often you see the similar or the same name, somebody that has come back. And I really appreciate the folks that recognize that every time they watch one of the videos, they learn something. They're gaining something from it. And that was a commitment that Calvin made early on. We're not going to have inappropriate behavior in the background. It's not going to be pie in the face comedy. It's going to be substance. And that slows your growth rate down, because a lot of people do enjoy the pie in the face comedies, but at some point people realize that they're spending hours looking at videos that don't have value, and that it doesn't last. And we're hoping that the learning side of this and the clean fun that we have is something that people gravitate to.
That's awesome. Yeah. People don't, I mean, they want to learn something, I think, most part. I do, anyways. And then you can't just blow up stuff all the time just to blow it up.
Yeah.
We got to learn something in it too.
Yep. Yeah. For me, it's they always say you should make videos that you want to watch. You would want to watch. So for me, I rarely find myself watching a video that's just pure entertainment. For me, I want to learn something. Like, I watch Veritasium. Like, I've recently gone on a deep dive into his stuff. Just I want to watch something, and I want to become better for it. I don't want to just watch people do dumb stuff and hit each other with baseball bats. Like that can be fun.
That's fun, but
I do indulge in that on occasion, but
yeah.
For me, for the most part, like I want to learn something. So I hope that our videos, teach you something and teach you something valuable. And that's what we try to do.
I wonder how many project cars y'all have helped put into the atmosphere.
Right. Well, that's an interesting subject, because one of the things that we want to see is the low buck efforts being appreciated. Like, we've talked about the Grassroots Motorsports Challenge, and that community grew very healthily for a long time, because the challenges that people have to be able to afford a house, a family, and food limit you on what you can do. And then when you can still be able to do something that you have a passion for, that's nothing but good about that. And so, budget racing is always called out as being, many folks frown upon it. Just call it what it is, and we don't. We truly appreciate the young guy who's struggling, trying to do his best with what he's got, and we have a real soft heart for anybody who's in that category, because that life is meant to be enjoyed, and we have a passion that we can share, and we love seeing people have a passion.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just to elaborate on that, like one of my favorite videos on YouTube is it's the Build It Yourself guys. They spent 3 years building this V10. It's a Ford V10 with dual overhead cam. They literally cut 2 dual overhead cam modular motor heads apart and made a
oh my gosh,
that has 5 holes instead of 4. And, they spent 3 years building this thing, and like they get to the end and they finally get the sound that they want. And you can just like see the tears in their eyes. And like, to me, like, it's just, it's like, do you know how many times they probably wanted to quit? How many struggles, how many roadblocks they ran into, and, you can't do that. That'll never work. And, for them to finally like achieve the thing, it's like, I love that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to go watch those guys for sure.
Yeah.
Well, how do you manage everything you guys got going on? You talked about having full-time jobs and all the builds and the YouTube stuff. What do you do to manage all of that besides not sleep?
We have a lot of support at home.
And we have a whiteboard with ideas on it that we frequently move stuff around, and what if we did this, and if we do that, then why don't we do, and it's a lot of that. I have a lot of Word docs, of just video ideas and layouts of videos of just like, this, lots of planning like that of, just as for me, it's like, I get up, I'm taking a shower and I'm like, I got it, and then I got to quickly go into the computer and it's yeah.
We one of the advantages that we have is when we hit a roadblock, we can set something to the side until we come up with a solution for it. And we don't lose our desire to finish that project. But so many folks that are trying to do these oddball things that like what we do, if you only have a single car garage to work in, and you run into some of the roadblocks, you have a couple choices. And one of them is spending too much money with the solution to come up with the solution. And, fortunately for us, we're able to push it into the barn and pull the stalled project back out when we've come up with a solution that may be a very creative, inexpensive solution, or, we know when to spend the right money on the right part, because there are certain things that just absolutely make sense. You don't be a cheap guy to be a cheap guy. You be frugal in coming up with solutions to the problems. A lot of times it's a matter of just step back and think about it long enough to come up with that solution, and having a barn that we can slide the cars in and out of certainly offer that opportunity to not have to push harder or drive yourself mad trying to come up with that solution.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I doubt there's very few YouTubers that have a whiteboard.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 just in the.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we're both engineers, so we like whiteboards. So.
Yeah. What about tips and tricks for other YouTubers, people that are, trying to be successful like you guys have done? What do you have for those guys, tips and tricks?
So you actually, Mike gave me the list of topics, and I've been kind of mulling that over my head for a little while, and it's tough. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people who want to do this, and they want to make lots of money from it, and it's a struggle. There's a lot that goes into it. There's for anything that you do, there's always somebody who's going to work harder than you. And for me, it's like, I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that works harder. And, Dad and Mom raised me with a very good work ethic. So, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. You got to earn it. You got to find something that brings value to the world, and you got to earn it. And I don't want to, sound like I'm, King YouTube and I deem who is worthy, but there's a lot of people who put minimal effort into stuff, and they're just like, give me my 1 million subscribers, please, thanks, bye. And it's just, there's a lot of times I don't feel worthy, and you gotta work hard. You gotta just keep doing it. Don't quit. And there's
the man in the arena.
That. My favorite quote is the man in the arena, Teddy Roosevelt. It's the blood and sweat and tears, and the critics on the outside are criticizing, but they're not the ones that count. It's the man who's actually in the arena, and he might win, he might fail, but he was the one who tried, and he put his neck on the line, and he did it. And that's I have that on my wall in my office at work, and
wow.
It's just you gotta earn it. You gotta don't quit, and earn it.
Yeah, I shared that with Calvin very early on, and it was very profound that, there's a lot of critics out there. You got to overcome that, no matter whether you're building a car or building a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. If you have a passion, others will recognize it. And that's one of the things that, we both agree upon. We got to want the car too. You know, it's got to be interesting. It's got to be something of value somehow. And you'll fight through a lot of the challenges that you have if you really want it. And the Man in the Arena, I recommend everybody pull that up. That quote from Teddy Roosevelt is very profound.
That's awesome. Yeah. And again, we see it over here. I mean, obviously, you know, we do this all day, every day, all the time, you know, but I'll tell you, talking to you guys tonight, I know I need to do more. You know, there's so much great content that can be created that you just got to go create it. I mean, let's just be honest. You know, you got to find what you like to do, and you guys like to build super cool, badass cars, and we love watching that stuff. So
we appreciate the effort that you guys put in as well. It's been fun to watch over the years, and you guys are definitely worthy.
Your energy's infectious.
Yeah,
you're inspiring to us.
Well, we appreciate that for sure. And I hope that this conversation tonight has definitely pushed some people to, man, we see so many years where people built race cars and it was how much weight can I save? Oh man, if I pull the headlights out, that's 20 pounds. And they took these street cars and they made them race cars only. And, you know, I hope with what you guys are doing and all the stuff that everybody else is doing in this drag and drive community, we drag people's cars out of the barn and we get those things running and we see these things on drag and drive soon.
Well, we are very excited with the drag and drive community. It's the familyness of it is really a lot of fun. But, you know, I was thinking, you know, before the show began here, we had an opportunity for another drag and drive type event. You know, there's ice racing up here this time of year. and getting to the events, we don't have to make the distance that far because the time's definitely going to be made up trying to get up and down some of these hills. Holy mackerel, we have a major event coming. Folks traveling into the Florida from up here. You know, we just got hit up with this storm, and then there's another storm coming next weekend. So it's going to be a challenge to see what's going on. But I'm happy for the folks that are already there.
Yeah, what a great time though. What's the temp for you guys right now? Like what's it at night?
It's like
5 degrees.
Is it 5?
Gross.
Well,
Yeah.
4. It's 4 degrees right now.
So it's going to be like a 40-degree swing overnight when you're. It'll be amazing.
Well, we saw this coming. We actually pulled, the trailers are in the field out behind the barn, so we pulled them close to the driveway so that we could get the driveway cleared and get out. Yep. But we still got to load everything up, and we got an uphill battle trying to make this event, and but we're excited to see everybody.
Yeah. Right. So are you bringing 2? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think you told me that the other day, didn't you?
Yep. The VK in the Futura and the Camaro.
Yep. Man, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be so awesome. I can't wait. So what's the plan? When do you guys leave?
Hopefully Friday night.
That's the goal, because if we can get out Friday night, based on what they're saying, we'll have to drive through 400 miles of snow if we don't get out of here on time.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, I'm not leaving until Saturday morning, and it'll be the first time since sick week started that I'll be home for my daughter's birthday party. So I'm kind of excited to stay. It's gonna suck because we're in the same situation here in Arkansas. Like we were saying earlier, the road in front of my house is completely still covered in ice. So I have a 2-wheel drive truck. I don't usually get out in this stuff, but it's going to be kind of interesting. So bring it on, you know. So anyways, well, y'all, thank you so much for spending the time tonight. I know we probably shouldn't have kept y'all an hour and a half, but I really do appreciate y'all taking the time and going through all the stuff, man. You guys have such a cool story. And again, I would love to see a Sloppy Mechanics radio show after sick week. And we got to get Matt on one of these, man. I think him and Cameron would be incredible drag and drive racers.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a smart dude, and we really appreciate him, and we truly appreciate what you're doing. We were excited when you asked us to come on.
Yeah, we got to do this more often than once every 3 years.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to put you backstage. You guys, please go right now. Nivlac57, Facebook, YouTube. Definitely follow him on YouTube. Be part of the 107,000 subscribers over there. I know everybody that's watched this will enjoy all the stuff from there. So thank you very much. And I'll see you in a couple days.
See you guys. Safe travels.
Bye.
Yep.
Thank you.
How fun, dude. Man,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I could talk to those guys for many more hours.
Yeah,
Have a
they're
ton of great
awesome.
stories, and we need to turn them loose one day, like a 4-hour live stream where we go through all the builds and tell all the fun stories and all
Yeah,
that.
we just need to get them with a camera, have them move around and show all the cars.
Right? Yeah, that would be a thing. We need to just go visit. Let's plan on that.
Hey, there you go. I like that even better. We'll do a live podcast from their place.
Yeah, that would be more fun. All right, buddy, send us out, man.
All right. Again, appreciate everybody that hung around here for 2.5 hours. Great conversation tonight. Thanks to WireCare. Thanks to the Nelsons, Nivlac57. Thanks to you guys, all of our race car friends, all of our race car friend members, and everybody that you're going to see here in just 4 days. And our sponsors. Again, we can't do this without them. So please, if you guys are looking for parts, check these guys out. We've got discount codes. We've got affiliate links. We can get you in contact with somebody if you need to speak with somebody. But thank you to Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performa-Built Transmission, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And everybody that is traveling to Sick Week with all the storms, please, safe travels to everybody. Get there safe and have a good weekend. We will see you possibly on Saturday because you'll be traveling. But if not, you will be live on site on Wednesday night when we do this next show.
Yep. All right. See you guys.